What is up, mama, and welcome back. Today is a recovery workout, and this is for the lower body. We got stretch and mobility, quick in and out. So if you are ready, let's go ahead and dive right on into today's workout. All right, mama, so like I said, a little lower body stretch and mobility. So we're actually gonna get started with some stretching. We're gonna mix some mobility work in there as well, but it's gonna be quick, in and out. Feel free to dress how you want for being comfortable. It's nothing intense, nothing crazy. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work on some of our hip flexors and our quads as well. So we're gonna come up, it's gonna be kind of like a standing runner's lunge. So if you've ever done a runner's lunge before, you're typically here or even further to the ground and sometimes even dropping that back knee. But what I want for today is we're gonna start up and you're just gonna kind of lean into it a little bit, okay? So go ahead and come here. You're gonna rotate that pelvis, nice neutral alignment here, okay? And gently push forward right here. Nothing too intense, nothing too crazy. And if you want to go into that full runner's lunge, by all means, please feel free to. And also feel free to pause this video at any point in time if you feel like there's something you need to stay on just a little bit longer, you want to do a little bit longer, by all means, feel free to. All we're going to do next is we're going to hit the quad a little bit deeper. All right, so go ahead and walk this front leg in just a little bit to give you some stability. You can hold on to something if you need, but you're gonna grab that back leg. Now, when it comes to this back leg, I want you to make sure that you are grabbing at the base of your shin. You're not grabbing your foot, your shoe, your toes, nothing like that. It's the base of your shin right above your ankle. The reason for this is that when you pull on your foot, for some of the quad stretching, you're actually pulling on ligaments and tendons within that ankle, which can lead to instability and potential injury later, okay? Go ahead and switch sides. Start with just that little small runner or the deep runner if you want that. Totally okay. I hope you've had a great, wonderful week. It's been a little chaotic over here. I think the kids are all adjusting to the new summer routines and schedules, and you know how that goes. And then go ahead and step it in just a little bit and grab that back leg. And our middle child actually bit partway through his tongue 2 days ago. So that was a fun little event that we had. But he's a trooper, he's acting like nothing's wrong, just going about his day. Still rumbling and tumbling with his oldest brother. If you didn't know, I have 3 kiddos. 2 boys and then a girl. Come on down here. Deep squat for me right here. Good job, just push. Now, if you know how to do 360 breathing, go ahead and do that here. It's great for the pelvic floor, especially in pregnancy, but also it's great in postpartum. However, the closer to the end of pregnancy you should be doing these. They're really good. After this, we're gonna go into what's called a 90-90. I'm gonna show you here in just a second, but basically you're coming down and you'll sit down on the ground. Now, if you need something to make sure that you don't have to lean out to the side, by all means grab that. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. You keep going. I'm gonna get set up real quick before you hop in. So this is 90-90, 90 at your hips, 90 at your knees for both, okay? Front shin, back thigh are parallel, and then side thigh, side shin are parallel, okay? Go ahead and come on down here for me and just lean forward. I want you to lean with your chest. So make sure you aren't bringing everything in, okay? Right here. Now, what I don't want is you to come out like this. This is what defeats the purpose of this move. So if you need to put books, a dumbbell, a foam roller, something here just to help prop you up, by all means, feel free to. What we're gonna do next is called contract and release. You're basically gonna be pushing your hand into your knee and your knee into your hand. Ready? I want you to push just about 20% here, okay? So it's not intense, not much. But throughout this, I want you to picture your knee as if it's trying to hit you in the face and your hand is trying to push it back into the ground and they're just battling it out. So go up to about 50% for me here, okay? So a little bit more push between the two of them. Now go up to about 80%, so you're starting to push a little bit more, okay? And then go up for 100 and push, 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 and relax. Go ahead and switch sides for me. So that's called contract and release. And remember, 90-90 each side, okay? And it's okay if you find one side is way tighter than the other. Totally okay. You work through that. But contracting and releasing actually helps you get a little bit more range of motion. So it's putting the muscle into a working phase in that specific range of motion that you're working on. And then when you relax, go ahead and let's start that contract and release, just about 20%. When you go ahead and relax, you're able to get a little bit more range of motion in there. So you can do this with any stretch. You can do this, do a little bit more mobility in there and get it in there. Go up to about 50. So a little bit more push. Remember, you need to create the tension here, okay? They're battling it out, pushing against each other. Go about 80. And then I want you going full out, pushing against each other. You should be shaking just a little bit, and go ahead, relax. Awesome job. So what I want you to do next, you're gonna come back into that deep squat for me right here. I want you to drop it down and up, down and up. Now, if this is way too much and you're like, not comfortable, totally okay. You can come down here to the ground, a little bit wider stance, and rock in, okay? We're almost there. You're gonna come and sit down on the ground for me. Ready? Come on. Kick one leg out to the side for me here. Nice, good adductor stretch. The more out to the side, the more you're gonna feel it, and I need your toes up. When you're ready, lean forward with your chest, no rounding here, okay? Every exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper for me. Well, the adductors play a huge role in pelvic floor, okay? So if you're pregnant and you're dealing with pelvic floor issues or even just pelvic pain, make sure that you are checking in with everything that plays into your pelvis and pelvic floor. Adductors are a big one. We tend to see a lot of issues at the adductors. However, just because something might need to be lengthened does not mean that you don't strengthen it. Okay, that's a big thing that a lot of people will do is go ahead, switch sides for me, is they will think that their muscle is tight and so now they need to stretch it out, constantly just stretch it out. Or just because they have an issue with something, it means it's weak and they need to strengthen it. Here's the thing when it comes to muscles, they can be underactive or overactive. So underactive meaning they're pretty lengthened, stretched out, if you will, for visual, and they're pretty weak because of that, right? Overactive meaning they are being overworked because of some sort of compensation or because of how you're training. And because of that, they're getting stuck in this contracted phase, and therefore they're getting weaker because they can't work to their full function, to their full range of motion. Think of it like a bicep curl. If you keep your arm here where your bicep is curled up and engaged and contracted, and you keep it here, it's gonna get fixated in that shortened phase, right? Go ahead, kick your legs out for me right here, hammy stretch. And when it gets stuck in that phase, there's really not much more contracting it can do, right? So it loses some of its strength because it's not getting worked to its full potential. So when it comes to working on muscles, especially with the pelvic floor, you have to know what's going on, right? You have to know, do you have something that's hypertonic, meaning that the muscles are that tight, stuck in that contracted, shortened phase, or are they hypotonic, meaning they're in a loose type of state, if you will, and still weak. And just because one's tight, it doesn't mean that you can't also strengthen it. The main focus will be lengthening and inhibiting, but also adding in some strength work too, because like I said, it's weak. It needs to have some strength added in there for it to get back to a normal tone. Same with hypo. You want to make sure, what we're going to do next is for our knee. Go ahead, come here for me. One leg up, one leg down. The leg that's up, same arm, I want you to thread it underneath. Then I want you to grab the bicep of that arm, okay? Bring it behind the knee, okay? Lift up. This is our position. Come down, squeeze that forearm. Toes are pulled back towards your shin. Bring it to the inside. Go up. Bring it to the outside and down. and reverse it. So just go up, inside, down, right there. Now, if this is way too much, you can also just hold your knee. This just helps lock out the hip from trying to do some of the work for the knee, okay? So this is a knee mobility move. But like I said, it's the same for hypo or underactive muscles. You still want to strengthen them, right? That should be your biggest focus, is strengthening. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you are also stretching them out, okay? Go ahead and switch sides. We need to do good balance, okay? Focus on what it needs, but don't forget to include other stuff too. Because if you're solely focusing on strengthening something, guess what? Eventually it's going to become overactive. If you're not trying to lengthen it out, compensations are going to start taking place, and issues could either get worse or start arising. Coming up next, we're gonna work on our ankles. You keep going, I'm just showing. Sometimes this can work really well without shoes, just so you know if you're wearing shoes. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab at the bottom of your knee where your shin bone is, okay? Thumbs are gonna be on that. Don't let that move, all right? You don't want your knee to take over and do this motion. So go ahead and come here for me. Lock in that knee so it's not doing the motion, your hip's not doing the motion. I want you to go ahead and point your toes down, kind of making a circle. As your foot comes back towards you, you're pulling your toes back to your shin. You're going to the inside, again, only from your ankle. Don't let that knee move. And then begin the circle again. Point, 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 point. As it starts to come back up, bring your toes back up. If you feel any cramping, a sticky sensation, anything of the sort, I want you to fight through it, okay? Good job. I want you to go ahead and switch directions for me. So just reverse the direction that you're going. Really try and lock down your knee here. Make sure it's not moving, that your hip's not trying to take over. If that means your range of motion is not that big, that means your range of motion is not that big, and that's okay. We work through that. We're just gonna switch legs here in just a second. Be really intentional. Go ahead and switch. So lock it in, toes pulled back or forward, it doesn't really matter which direction you start. As you're going down and pointing your toes, I want you to act like you're trying to reach to touch the ground with your toes. That's how much you're trying to point them, okay? And as you're doing all this rotating, again, make sure that your knee isn't doing this, that your hip isn't causing this motion. Because sure, you can do whatever you want if you're letting these two take over, right? I want this solely coming from the ankle. Go ahead and switch sides. So whatever direction you were going, just reverse that, okay? We are almost done. The next thing we're gonna do is going to be for a little muscle called the piriformis. I like to call it the little nugget. All you're gonna do, not yet, but coming up, you're gonna cross one leg over the other, kind of creating a figure four, and you're just gonna pull it in, okay? Go ahead and go. Now, if you are pregnant, or even newly postpartum and this may not feel good to you, you can always sit down on a chair, a couch, a bench, and do this exact same thing. You're still gonna create that figure four, but you get to lean into it a little bit and create how much you need, okay? Takes a lot of the stress out of it for you. Sometimes I like to sit up against a wall where I'm forced to get closer to it, get a nice, good deep stretch in there. Doing good. We're just gonna switch sides here in just a second, okay? Get ready and just switch sides. Figure four, pull it in. Wherever it feels comfortable, okay? And even if you're not pregnant or postpartum, but maybe this is just way too intense for you right now, go and sit down. Go and sit down and do it. Totally okay. So not yet, but coming up, what we're gonna do is calves. So you are gonna stand up. Now, if you have anything that you can prop just the ball of your foot, which is up here, the ball of your foot up onto a wall, the side of a couch, side of a leg table, table leg, countertop, anything of that sort, you'll be able to do this move, okay? If not, I'll show you what you can do instead. But you're gonna come up to a wall, place the ball of your foot up there, go ahead and join me if you can, and you're gonna lean into the wall. So the higher up on the wall that you get it, and the more you lean in, you're gonna feel a nice, good stretch. Now, if you don't have anything nearby that you can do that with, go ahead and kick it out ever so slightly, kick those toes up, pull on the ball of your foot towards you. But you have to keep this leg straight, whether you're on the wall or you're down here like this, okay? Nice, good stretch in there. And then we'll get the other side. The one downside to having switched my view, and if you're new here, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but I used to film going this way, and there's like a little nook, if you will. So I had walls so that my back wouldn't have to be towards you whenever we did stretches like this, which was so nice. It was so nice. Go ahead and switch legs. So I apologize for having to, you know, have my back to you, but I do love the space I have now. After this, we're done. When the stretch is done. Now, we are holding these stretches for a little bit longer than you might typically hold a stretch. When it comes to static stretching, which is what we're doing, first and foremost, know that dynamic stretching should always be before a workout, never static. Static is what we're doing now, okay? Dynamic stretching actually helps warm up a muscle. Okay, that's what you want. If you do static stretching, you're increasing the risk of injury. Plus, you're also making it to where your muscles aren't gonna be prepared and ready to lift as much or do as much, and you might not be able to get as much out of the workout that you want. But when it comes to static stretching, ready, go ahead and relax. I'm just gonna finish this thought real quick. Ideally, the muscle responds better when you hold it for at least 2 minutes. So just know that if you ever are trying to improve flexibility in a certain area, at least 2 minutes, or you can do that contract and release that we did in that 90-90 anywhere else with your neck, with your shoulders, with your back. You can do it anywhere, okay? But that is it for today. Thank you for being here for this quick little reset, recovery, whatever you wanna call it, type of workout. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend, whenever it's for you. And I will see you right back here for our next workout together. Have a great day, mama.